Hi, Patrick and Francis. Both of you wrote a well-read research report where you warned that Hong Kong's underwater or negative equity mortgages could exceed 5% of total home loans next year, the highest in almost 20 years. Francis, how did you come up with this calculation?
This is a set of numbers coming from Hong Kong's regulator. In fact, the negative equity mortgages in last December reached a total of 66 billion or 3.7% of the total outstanding home loans in the city. And we've had a similar percentage during the global financial crisis back in 2008. And obviously, the all-time high was in 2003 when the Hong Kong property market really bottomed with almost 31% of all the mortgages are in negative equity. So if we see another round of home price decline, potentially 10% from now, there could be more and more negative equity mortgages, and that amount may exceed more than 5% of home loans next year.
Are you getting worried about the asset quality of banks?
Yes or no? Yes, the overall mortgage quality may deteriorate from this point onwards for sure, partly because of rising the negative equity mortgages, both in balance and in terms of the number of borrowers. But no, in terms of the peak level of non-performing loans or non-performing loan ratio for mortgages in Hong Kong back in 2003 was only 1.2% or so. So it was still not alarming, even if the bad mortgages ratio revisit the high that we saw in 2003.
Patrick, just how bad is Hong Kong's housing market right now?
As John, we think Hong Kong housing prices may still be under pressure, particularly those of small apartments, despite the latest relaxation of mortgage laws by allowing higher loan-to-value ratios for home buyers. The current situation is that mortgage rates are rising to over 4%, but overall we still see the rental yield is still below 3%. So housing demand for investors could remain weak unless they see the mortgage rates could fall below the rental yields, which is unlikely to happen in the short term. And we also see developers are also found difficult to sell the unsold inventories with about 85,000 units, including those completed projects and others currently under construction.
What can the Hong Kong authorities do to revive the housing market?
I think it's likely to see the government to gradually lower its stamp duties for investors and overseas buyers to boost the home prices, support the home sales as well. For example, all non-local buyers are required to pay a 30% stamp duty for home purchase in Hong Kong right now. And we see about a year earlier, the government eased the requirement for some eligible new arrivals. They could apply for stamp duty refunds after living in Hong Kong for 7 years to achieve the permanent residency. However, we didn't see any significant increase in the home purchase by overseas buyers, as they represented only 1.5% of total transactions so far this year. So it's possible to see the government to lower the additional stamp duties for overseas buyers very soon. Anyway, we think the impact might not be very significant if the government just slightly lower the tax rate, unless we see the mortgage rates could fall significantly from the current level in the short term.
Okay, thanks for your time, Patrick and Francis.